I forgot to change my title and category. Howdy, y'all. We're here for the Game Awards nominations. Which is going to be fun. Hey, punch up. Sorry, my microphone's over there. Webcam mic? No, it was just not connected. Yeah, no dispatch this week. Sad. It was so short-lived. It's like one of the best things I've ever done with my career and on YouTube, and it's the most fun I've had in a long time with the community. And we don't have one this week. I will say, everyone's reactions have been incredibly sweet and nice and like over the top amazing. Not only for the game, but I have gotten so many messages from friends, people who've played the game and mutuals who played it and were like, "Oh my god, you were so good as Punch Up," and it's just really sweet. I'm so glad that people enjoyed that game. Considering it took so long to do, we weren't sure what the end result was going to be received as, and being worried about your own performance in it, and not like I got to hear some other people's lines. There were some scenes that people had done, and in the script they had like you could just click a thing to play the line, and then you'd hear to kind of react to that. And I heard a few of those, but when I went in to do my lines, most of the other lines hadn't been implemented yet or recorded, so I didn't really get to hear stuff to react to. I just got the context of the scene and the character. So going into that and being like, oh, I hope I did okay. I mean, if the developers, they're there, they're not just going to go like, okay, moving on, and then be like, what the fuck was that? Like, they would always be like, hey, can you give us one that, like, the gruffness in your voice is kind of, like, lessened? Can you give us another version that is a bit gruffer again? One that's more surprised, one that's blah, blah, blah. So they were always, and anytime they were happy with it, I was like, okay, good. If you're happy with it, I'm happy with it. You guys know the game better than I do. The hardest line? As in, like, man, that goes hard? Or my hardest line, which I didn't realize was at the end of the game, was Shroud talking. And all the, like, this is a line that this goes hard. It was Shroud talking and then giving like a monologue kind of shit, and then all the heroes line up together, and I just go, fuck off. And then we all go and attack him, and I didn't know that I got the one-liner for that. Because there's a lot of lines you record that are just kind of like, you get stuff called like Walla, which is like Walla Walla. It's just like background sounds, like the, I was about to hit the gym. I wanted to give Teresa and Susan a workout. Like that kind of stuff is just in the background kind of noise. And there's also like barks. So there's a lot of sounds you make. There's a lot of like, fuck off that you do. That's kind of like, oh, I failed a mission, so I'm annoyed at myself and I'm annoyed at the situation. So there's a lot of those. And then there was another one that I did that was that one at the end. And I didn't realize it was going to be like, maybe they told me and I just forgot by the time I actually played it. But I didn't realize it was going to be like the final line before the final battle. Like I got to have the one-liner. So it was really funny to hear it in the game. I also didn't know that I did the Henry Cavill reload. I don't know when that was decided on, but it wasn't told to me at that moment. But I knew I was going to like punch someone in the dick. Obviously, I knew that that was my special move from the beginning, but I was waiting for people to see it. And then by the time we got to it, I was like, oh, right, yeah, I forgot about this. Because all like my last session for the lines was at the start of this year, so it's basically like a year in between when you did it. It was very fun. I was so honored to have been part of it. so privileged and so honored to be part of something that is one of the most talked about games of the year, and people love it so much. So to be part of something that's good is one thing. I'm so honored for that. But to be part of something that is so beloved and people are so obsessed with the characters right now is, I mean, I don't think any of us expected that when the game came out. What am I looking up? I'm going to wait a little bit for the Game Awards stuff to kind of like happen. It's supposed to happen in like 9 minutes. And Jeff's going to do a live stream announcing the nominees and everything. I'll wait like 15 minutes after so we can go to the website and put in our nominations. Because I do actually want to vote. I did see what I think are the leaked Game of the Year nominees. People said that it leaked, and I saw it online already. Dispatch is not in there, which, I mean, it would have been incredible, but I didn't expect it to happen. But the nominees fully are going to be put up for like every category in like 10 minutes. Silksong is definitely up there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Expedition 33 regardless. I don't think... This is the most sure I've been of a Game of the Year in a long time, that Expedition 33 is just going to clean up at the awards, which is unfortunate because I think Expedition 33 and Dispatch are going to go up against each other in a lot of the same categories, like best narrative, best story, best... I can't remember some of the categories. Like all of the things that Dispatch does well, like characters, writing, story, acting, and animation, like all of those are going to be up against Expedition 33 as well, whatever categories there are. So I will say, before we get into any of it, I will say that my favorite games of the year so far, I think Expedition 33 is going to win it, and I think it probably deserves it the most. I wouldn't say that it ranks super high on my Game of the Year stuff. It didn't click with me the way it did with everybody else. Like I wasn't as enamored with it as a lot of people were. And I don't really know why. Like I got to play it a few weeks early, and a lot of the twists that were in it, I had kind of predicted, except like one final twist at the very, very, very end of it all, that if you've played it, you know what I mean. But I couldn't have called that. But there was some stuff in it where I was like, I've heard too much about this game now at events that I kind of know what's going to happen with certain characters. Like they were kind of trying to be cagey about it and not give over spoilers, but the way they were talking about it at the event about their own game, I was like, I feel like you kind of reveal too much to me behind closed doors, and now I kind of know what's going on a little bit. Actually, in the grand scheme of this, it was only for one character. For the grand scheme of things, I didn't have any idea what was happening. But yeah, I played it and I was like, that was fun. That was great. I had a really good time playing that game. But then when it came out and it reviewed, like the internet absolutely exploded about it and absolutely adored it. So I was like, oh, cool. I wasn't like that in love with it compared to everyone else. I will say that some of the visuals in it and the music are probably some of the best that we've had this year. The music should win like music of the year, I think. I think I like the music more than I like the game. It's kind of crazy like that. But I think for the gameplay, I kind of got a bit tired of it after a while. I like the parrying system and everything. It's just after like halfway through the game, I was like, okay, I'm not really doing anything like hugely new anymore. I just keep doing the same kind of stuff over and over again. It's just about figuring out the timings now, which was still really fun to do. But I don't know. I keep trying to figure out myself why I didn't connect with it when everybody else did. Usually a game like that is ticking all the boxes for me, so I don't know why it didn't. But not a bad game by any means. I think it absolutely deserves Game of the Year. And I think it's pretty much a lock-in. Is that shirt upside down? What? No. Oh, it's my Carhartt shirt. What? It's fine. Leave me alone. Come on, Jack, it's peak. I mean, clearly I'm in the minority on this. Everybody else absolutely adored it. And I do like talking to Ben about it. Ben Starr, because he's a friend of mine, and he was Verso, so I like talking to him about the game. Did you get Dispatch merch? I didn't, actually. I saw Corey's last video, and he was wearing our friend Mars, who goes by Marzi on Twitch. They were wearing like an SDN shirt with a mug and everything in the last episodes, and I was like, I'm in the game and I don't even have that. I mean, that usually happens. If you're in the game, you've gotten a lot out of it already. Okay, I'm going to save my thoughts on certain games until we get into the nominations, because I do want to make a video out of this for the Spadicey channel, and I don't want to talk about stuff before we actually get to it. Season 2 of Dispatch when? Believe me, nobody wants it more than I do. Everyone's been asking about Season 2, when it'll happen and when it'll get announced and all that stuff. I hadn't heard anything about it until after the game had been coming out, and then it sold incredibly well. They even said themselves they weren't really thinking about it until it sold well. It was kind of like a, let's see how this does. It's a miracle. If you listen to any of the stories about how Dispatch came to be and the absolute shit show that those developers went through over like 7 years of trying to get it made, and it was supposed to be an FMV live action game, and then COVID happened, and the stuff like the studio bouncing around that they did, it's an absolute miracle that that game got made and is as good as it is. So I think they were just like, let's get this done and hope for the best. But I think since it sold so well, and since, not even that it's sold so well, but because that always helps to get funding for another one. But because the characters are so loved, and because people just absolutely adore that universe now, I think that is a good reason for them to do a Season 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're prioritizing that next, because I think it shocked them that it was, I mean, it shocked me. Because we talked about it early on, when Critical Role were coming on to help. They talked about it in interviews how they came on to kind of like help the company, and Ad Hoc themselves said that like they saved them and helped the game get made because they partnered with them. But I mean, I invested in the team as well. I invested in the company too, because I was like, I love what you guys are doing. I just want to see stuff get made, and if I can help that in any way, then I'm going to invest as well and just kind of like push this thing over the edge. Plus I love, that's kind of where I want to be in a few years, is kind of like investing in stuff and producing content and like helping people, using what I've made on YouTube to kind of like help other projects get made. And help people who just have like an idea and they're struggling to kind of like find the funding and stuff for it. I think that's really cool to be able to do. So I want to do more of that with other games. But yeah, even then, I was like, I think this is amazing, and all the people who are in it are amazing, and I like everybody involved, so why not? If I have any power at all, if I have any sway, if I have any chat with them, I will talk about how much people want Season 2. Don't worry. They already know. There's no way they don't. And I would love to do a Season 2. And Aaron Paul said he wants to do a Season 2. And Alana and Charlie that I've talked to want to do a Season 2. We all want to do a Season 2. The guy who does Flambe wants to do it. The lady who does Prism, Thought Squad, I was talking to her about it. She wants to do a Season 2. We all want to come back. It's one of the most fun things all of us have done. Also, I think in terms of stuff that I've done outside of my own YouTube channel, it's easily the most popular and well-received thing that I've done. Do you have any Thankmas plans this year? That is a good question, because I meant to talk about this earlier in the stream, and I didn't yet earlier in the stream. I've been streaming for 15 minutes. There will be no Thankmas this year. Settle. Hold for gasp. I know. A lot of you have been waiting around for it, and I was supposed to talk about it earlier, but I got really sick and then stuff got pushed and everything. We're not doing Thankmas this year for one of the main reasons that I'm not doing it. There's two main reasons. One is that I need a break. I don't want to keep doing charity stuff just for the sake of doing charity stuff, and it's expected every year. This year was pretty tough physically to get through, and at the end of the year, I'm just not in the headspace for it. So I feel like it's just not a good idea to do it if I'm just doing it for the sake of it. You should be doing charity stuff because you have a vested interest in the charity you're doing, or I don't know, you just want to rally your community or just something. You shouldn't be doing charity just for the sake of it. It's one would argue that that's still a net positive. That's a whole nuanced topic that I don't want to get into right now. The other and most prevalent issue, and the main reason that I didn't want to do it, is because as the year was going on, in terms of like, we were releasing comic books and we were releasing coffee, and things like that. Like, I don't do merch or anything anymore either, because as the year was going on, I started to notice that people just didn't have money. People, not just for my stuff, but I've seen it all over the internet and all over like the world, that people in general just have had a hard year financially. And I don't want to get to the end of the year after promoting like comic books and coffee and everything, and then ask people to give money to a cause when you probably need your money more right now anyway. I think a lot of people are struggling in terms of finances, and I don't want to ask any more of my community than I need to. So I thought just for a year we can just have a breather. We can just sit back, just enjoy Christmas for what it is. If you're saving up any money for Thankmas, just use that on yourself, use it on your loved ones, buy yourself something nice, treat yourselves. I do still hope to do Thankmas next year. That's our plan right now. I think it's just good to, we've been doing it for so often every year that it's good to just back out. And I was already like, I don't want to do it live anymore. I don't want to do it in person in front of an audience, because honestly, it costs a lot to run. A lot of that money should be going into the charity anyway. And adding a live audience in front of us didn't really add to the thing in a meaningful way. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is get the most amount of money in a charity's pockets as I can. Well, pocket sounds dirty. Get the most amount of money I can to a charity instead of it being spent on like a stage and a venue and an audience, and like all of that stuff seemed very superfluous. And my plan for that initially was to make Thankmas a much bigger deal and a much bigger spectacle. So then more people would pay attention and more companies will come in and give us their money to give to charity. I don't really know if hosting it live in front of a big audience really did what I wanted it to. We did it twice. I don't think it added anything meaningful. So I'm probably not going to do that in the future. I think we can focus our stuff. I'll still do it live in like a studio somewhere and bring on guests and everything, but doing it in front of people, I don't think really added anything. And it also meant I was talking to the crowd, and then I was like, shit, I should be talking to the people at home, and then I was like, shit, I should be talking to the crowd, and it was just hard to balance that out. So I think it's just good to take a breather, take a year off, come back next year strong when we're all like really into it, when we all have like a good charity. There was also some other like really big charity streams this year. You know, I'm not going to say that there's infinite money and infinite goodwill to go around. If there were, then we wouldn't really have as many problems in the world as we do now, probably. So just treat yourselves right this year, and we'll come back swinging next year. And apologies for not saying that earlier. We're at the 17th of November now, so I probably should have said that earlier on, but I mean, I don't think it changes a whole lot. Okay. So the stream for announcing stuff is live now, right? But the nomination page isn't up yet. So I'll wait till that's done. I don't really want to sit here and watch Jeff talk about... I don't want to see Jeff talk about who's getting nominated, and then we sit down, and then we vote and talk about it again later. Anyway, we'll just wait until it's all up on the website. I also, October was such a crappy month in terms of health. I got sick at the start of October, and honestly, I think it was when Ray came over to film that. Me and Ray did a video together where we made a heavy metal song, and that was really fun. But she came over and she was really sick. And I think I picked it up from her or when we went to Tully's to do our spooky video that we did, our Halloween horror maze thing that I did. Those were kind of like back to back. So I got sick in that. And I was sick for like 4.5 weeks. I only just stopped being sick like start of November. And I've seen that with a lot of people this year. Whatever sickness is going around is fucking crushing everyone. I talked to Alana about it. She was sick for weeks and lost her voice. I lost my voice. I was so worried about it. I had to go to the doctor like 4 times because my asthma was so bad. I had to go on antibiotics and steroids to get my chest back in order because that chest infection was not going anywhere and it fucked up my throat as well. It wasn't COVID. I tested multiple times. And I'm also paranoid about that because I'm more susceptible to chest things. I'm at risk because of my asthma. And since being sick, my throat has not healed to the point where for a week, I felt like my throat was closing up. And I didn't know what that was. And every time I would eat, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I feel like I can't breathe. And like, I felt like there was a pressure here that somebody was just like sitting on my throat all the time. And I felt like I had to like gag. And then I went to my doctor and he was basically like, look, you could have either a lingering thing from being sick and your throat is probably inflamed, but that's unlikely because of what the symptoms I have. Or I could have a cyst in my throat or a growth or something. Or I have a pharyngeal pouch, or otherwise known as a Zenker's diverticulum, which I was like, okay, what is that? But my dad used to get this thing where he had it multiple times. I think he had it like 3 times and he had to get surgery on it, where you get a thing where a pouch forms in your throat. So you basically have like a thing branch off from your throat and it creates a little pouch where like fluids and food and everything goes into. It's basically like a hernia in your neck. So I need to go to an ENT to get scanned and to get a tube down my throat to see what's going on. And I have found it manageable now because I figured out ways to like eat and drink in a way to kind of make it a bit better, but it is always like pressing on my voice box, so my throat is getting very strained doing nothing. And I was worried because I was like, I would talk for like a little bit and I was like, man, is my voice still strained from being sick? But it's just, it's something. So something's going on in my throat that I need to get checked out. I'm hoping I can get it done before I go to LA because I am going to the Game Awards at the end of the year. But who knows? Hopefully it's something that they look at and go, yeah, just do this and it's fine. And hopefully it's not like, oh, you have what your dad had and now you need surgery. But at least if it is surgery, it's something that's like so quick and easy. Like my dad had it 3 times and it was fine. But I do have it where I like my antidepressant that I take every day. I swallowed it the other day and I was like, you know how you get sometimes that feeling of it stuck in your throat? And I was like, no, I can like feel it stuck in something in my throat. And then I drank and I could feel it like wash out and go down into my stomach. Sorry, too much information. But I was like, maybe I do have the thing my dad had. I don't think it's genetic though. But I'm reading a lot of stuff about it and my doctor was talking about it. But apparently because I'm hypermobile, all your tissues and your membranes and everything are all a little looser and softer and weaker than normal. So it could be because of that. Well, Punch Up doing this situation, he wouldn't get it, and he would force it out. I did unspeakable things in that alley. Are these nominations up yet? Oh, the site is getting absolutely hammered. Okay, the stream just ended. The only one I do know is what was in, if it actually ended up being that, I didn't watch this, of nominations, which is like, it was Donkey Kong, Expedition, Silksong, Hades 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Death Stranding 2. I think those were the 6. Dispatch was too late. It also could be. Silksong's probably going to win. Game of the Year? No, Expedition 33 is sweeping this year's nominations, I think. I think it probably got nominated for so many categories, but also the thing about Game of the Year is that, because there was a lot of stuff with Shroud talking about Arc Raiders should be Game of the Year, not Expedition 33. If you just say, I think Arc Raiders should be Game of the Year, it's unfair that multiplayer games don't often get nominated. Totally fine. You don't have to punch down against Expedition 33 to build up another game. I think that's where he fucked himself up. By shitting on... well, not shitting on Expedition 33, but saying it shouldn't win because the game I'm enjoying should win. Like, that's just... Where are we in discourse with that? We're not having a conversation then. But the thing for me with Game of the Year is not just like how much fun are you having with a game or how much impact did it have on the industry. Those are two very important factors. But it's like, think of the game as a whole. Think about like the team that made it. A small team making an incredibly big, ambitious game actually does go a long way because it's unheard of. It's different. You have to think about the artistry that goes into making a game. You have to think about story, animation. You have to think about writing. Like, it's everything. It's not just, hey, is this game good and does it have good mechanics? It's like, is the story good? Is the visuals good? Is the sound design good? Is the writing good? Like, all of these things encompass what a Game of the Year is. And you'll go back and see some of all the ones that have won Game of the Year not only have a lot of those, but they also made massive waves in the industry when they came out. And I don't see any other game on this list, or whatever list comes out. I haven't actually seen the official one yet. Like, Expedition 33 just happens to tick all those boxes for a lot of people. It represents the year for a reason? Yeah. I mean, I haven't played Arc Raiders. I've seen some clips from it. I mean, I don't listen to any Gaga's music, but what the fuck does she know about cameras? What's that quote? Oh wait, that's Kanye. Fuck that. Never mind. I've seen so many people when Expedition 33 came out talking about how much it like changed their lives. I haven't really seen that much about Arc Raiders. Like, even some of the people who were talking about how incredible it is have already moved on from it because they played absolutely everything that was in it. You can play Arc Raiders and it can move you in certain ways and do things that you didn't expect the game to be able to do. Totally fair. You can have it as your Game of the Year. Many people will. It all depends on what you like in a game. But Expedition 33 just... It's a JRPG that was made in the West that actually, like, did really, really, really well for a lot of people. Like, it's just kind of an anomaly in regards to what it's doing. I'm on the Game Awards page, and there's no section to vote yet. When does the voting start? Maybe want to vote. Site's crashing? Damn it. 5:15? I thought it was already past that, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't want to have it wrong. Death Stranding will win because Jeff is obsessed with Hideo. It is kind of crazy how many people think Jeff Keighley has authority on what actually gets nominated. I don't think Death Stranding 2 should be nominated for the Game of the Year. I even said it when I played it that it just did not vibe with me at all. I love Death Stranding 1, but Death Stranding 2 I feel like kind of missed the mark for me. And then once it was out and past, like, I didn't really see anybody talking about it anymore. I mean, not that that really means a whole lot, but Death Stranding 1 kind of like made a big ripple. And Death Stranding 2 came out and everyone was like, man, it's amazing! And then they were like, 2 weeks later, they were like, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. It happens all the time. People get really obsessed with stuff in the honeymoon phase, and it's like, give it like 6 months and see what we're talking about. Unfortunately, for some Game of the Year nominations, you don't have 6 months. Not to be dramatic, but Dispatch changed my life. I don't think that's dramatic. If it did, it did. There's a lot of games that I played when I was younger that absolutely changed my life. And when I'm older, like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out a few years ago and absolutely changed people's lives. Baldur's Gate 2 or 3 came out and changed people's lives. Elden Ring came out and changed people's lives. A good story and good characters will change your life. Not to be lesbian, but I love Invisigal so much. Dude, be lesbian. Be lesbian on main. Come on. Yeah, the site's crashing. I've been trying to reload the page and it's just down. I'm trying to think, I think the first game that legitimately changed my life was Metal Gear Solid 1. I think I played that. Like, there's some other games I played when I was that age, like 9 or 10. And they definitely, like, had an impact on me. But Metal Gear Solid 1 I played and I was like, I'm different now. The world is different now. And then shortly after that, it was Final Fantasy IX. Metal Gear Solid 3 was another one. I absolutely loved that. Oh, we can vote! The page loaded. It's not gonna keep loading though. I need to sign in. Hold on. What should I sign in with? I'm worried that I'll like click something to vote and then it'll not count because the site keeps trying to load and break. Yeah, if I click start voting, it doesn't work. Let's give it a few more minutes. There's some things, by the way, that I'll vote on that I'm like, or I might abstain from because I don't want to throw votes in the wrong places. Sometimes like esports and esports orgs and esports people, I mean, it's just going to be faker again, as it always is. But some of those ones I'm like, I'm not clued in enough for this stuff, so I might just pass. If you got the chance to remaster a game, what would it be? I'm kind of over remasters, honestly. A lot of remasters that came out that, I don't know, I guess remasters aren't as bad. Remakes, I'm kind of done with. What game would I remaster? Dino Crisis 1? Because I was going to say Soul Reaver, but we already got one of those. Final Fantasy IX is out on PC, so we have a ton of mods that remaster it. Probably Dino Crisis 1, honestly. Bloodborne? I don't know, man. I mean, Bloodborne I absolutely adore, but if we're talking about like the one game you get a chance to... Oh, Ocarina of Time is a good one. I didn't grow up playing Ocarina of Time, and going back to play it now, I don't really like the controls. So there's like versions of it you can play that do have that, like twin stick controls, but having like an official remaster of Ocarina of Time on the Switch 2 that takes leverage of all that stuff would be really cool. Because Bloodborne I would love a remaster for, but it doesn't really need it as much as some like much older games. Bloodborne still looks good. It could look better. It could be at 60 FPS, it could be at 4K, it could be on PC. But it's not like you can't play it now. I'm listening to Kingsfield music, maybe that deserves a remaster. I want to see remasters, well, not just even remasters, I want to see updated ports of older games. Like, let me play Kingsfield 4 on PC with a mouse. That'd be so cool. Every time I click start voting, it doesn't let me vote, so I don't know what's happening. Too many people fucking voting, that's why. Will you play Resi 9? Absolutely. You kidding me? Did I play Silent Hill F? I played a chunk of it, and then I talked to Evelyn a lot about it and watched a lot of her gameplay on it. So I know everything about Silent Hill F now. Well, not everything because I haven't played it fully, but that game's awesome. I love a game that when they do New Game Plus, stuff actually changes. And I kept saying, like, Ryu Kishi is the guy who did the game, but it's such a progressive sort of like, it's such a progressive take on what being a woman in Japan in that period of time actually was about. And all about arranged marriages and abuse and things like that. And I'm like, damn, it's such a heavy topic, and it's handled actually really well in terms of like putting it in a horror setting, and it has a lot to say. It's really cool. Because he also did, is it Umineko that Ryukishi does? And I haven't played it, but I hear great things about like the types of topics that he tackles. And I'm just kind of surprised by his forward thinking and his like unfortunately it's a going against the grain mentality, and instead of like making girl in school uniform, you can look up her skirt now, kind of like that. It went against all of that and actually had something to say and did a really good thing for like women in general. I think really cool. I want Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to win Game of the Year. Hot take, I guess. Not really a hot take if it got nominated. But I do think a voice like Ryukishi like that, making those types of stories is really important to kind of like push things in certain directions. I don't want to, I was going to say like push culture in certain directions, but I'm like, I'm not integrated in Japanese culture, and all I know is like what I read about Japanese culture and like what I've heard other people say. It's like, I shouldn't be making any statements like that. Shelazar still making games? Yeah, they have a fishing demo. They made kind of like a Dredge sort of fishing horror game. There's a demo of it out, but it's not fully out yet. Voting website's broken. Yeah, it will be for a while. What is one character you would love to voice act? Oh, man. I don't know if there's a specific character. Like, I don't have like, oh, I want to voice this person. I just want to be able to play like a fucking scary ass villain at some point. Like the way Matt Mercer got to play Shroud in Dispatch. Like, I want to play something like that. That's because it's so different than what I normally do. As long as the next, I don't know what other things I'm going to be voicing in, but I would love to be able to voice not an Irish person and do a good job. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adored doing Punch Up, and him being Irish is great. It's the other ones where they wanted me to be super Irish, and I was like still new to voice acting and didn't really want to push back on that. And I was like, well, you gave me the lines that you want me to do, and you're doing a really stereotypical Irish accent, so I guess you want that. And I wanted practice, I wanted experience, so I did it, and now I'm like, I don't want that to be my thing. Because, like, I loved being in Poppy Playtime, but I don't want... Like, every time I watch that now, I'm like, oh my god, that's... you can't take that seriously. It's cool that I'm in it. And I'm glad I did it. And I don't regret anything about it, but... You know, you just don't want to be doing that all the time. Not only do I want to, like, show off a range of something, but I also want, like, practice and experience and want to be able to do different things. And playing, like, a villain that's angry and scary and subtle is, like, something that I don't always get to do. It would just be fun to do. Accent real demo when? It's all top of the morning. Don't really hear your Irish accent anymore. I know, neither do I, and I hate it. I wish I still sounded more Irish. Some words, obviously, if I say car, I'll still say that, and while. I don't know, I just pick up what's around me all the time, and I start talking differently. And I haven't been home. I haven't been, like, around Irish accents for a long time, so... I mean, I wish that didn't happen, but that's just how my fucking brain works. Thankfully, it means that AI has a very hard time copying what I sound like. I remember I did a thing with Wired. Was it Wired? When I did, like, the autocomplete interview, I did a thing where, like, I talked to my AI self. Now I hate it. Now I want that video taken down, and we asked, and no movement on it. Because this was before I, like, kind of realized the depths of what AI was doing and how it worked and all that kind of shit, and now I hate that I did that video. But the reason it sounds so shit is because if you ever train an AI on my voice, you're training it off YouTube videos, which is all me yelling. So then when I actually talk, like even now I'm talking higher and louder than I normally would. So when you actually hear me with an AI and it's trying to speak normally, it always fucks up. And I think because my accent is so much a blend of different things now that it can't figure out my cadence of speaking. I have a very unique way of talking and a very unique sounding voice. So, which is also why nobody's ever able to do an impression of me well. It's always terrible. Because they always want to do an impression of me, but then go into an Irish accent, and I'm like, even I don't sound that Irish anymore, so... I don't know what you're doing. Oh! I went to the website now, it says 404 error. Fucking sick. Unable to load nominees. Man, this website's getting fucking killed. It's okay. We have time. It's only been up for like 15 minutes. Have you watched Invincible? I have. That was one of the first things they showed me for Dispatch was, it was Robert and Blonde Blazer on the billboard at the start of the game in that infamous, like, kiss or don't kiss scene. And it was just a still of the game, and I was like, holy shit, this looks good. Like, even just not in motion. Like, it looks obviously way better in motion, but even when it wasn't, I was like, this looks amazing. And I likened it to Invincible. It doesn't help that her suit is like yellows and blues, and like the color scheme was very Invincible looking. But I don't think they would see that as a bad thing. Dispatch is one of my favorite games of the year. I mean, honestly, same. And I'm biased as all hell, but being in it, seeing the reaction to it, and recording it for YouTube, and the community around it, and interact, like, I've watched so many reactions to punch-up scenes. Like, so many reactions of, like, Corey, Berlizzi, Connor, Ludwig, like, all these people, Alana, Charlie, watching different parts of the game, reacting to their own voices, reacting to my voice, reacting to punch-ups like Henry Cavill Reload. I've watched so many reactions to it. I've seen so many memes and artwork on Twitter and Instagram. I've been trying to like as many of them as I see. It's just, it's a good time. It's hard not to have that affect my opinion of Game of the Year when I'm having so much fun with it. And it was so funny as well. Like, as I was playing, I was like, go get him, Charlie. Instead of being like, go get him, Sonar. And then I saw some other people, like Connor was like, yeah, get him, Sean. And he was saying my name instead of the character, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I had fun with that. Plus, it's a good game. It's really well made. It's just really good characters in a really good story, really well written. And that does 90% of the heavy lifting for a game like that. I did see a lot of people say like, oh, your choices don't really matter all that much. And it's like, I understand why you want to be able to like cut someone and then the game absolutely completely changes on a dime, like a Baldur's Gate 3 or something, but you need to remember what the scope of this game was and how difficult it is for shit like that to be made, to really like have a change like completely upend the entire story, especially if you have a very specific narrative you want to hit and very specific story beats and emotional beats you want to hit, which are all the things that are resonating with people. That's really hard to do if you put in a whole bunch of stuff that completely upends the entire story. If you think a decision or a change that you're going to make in a game will change how people emotionally react to a scenario, then that change probably shouldn't be implemented, because the emotional impact actually is way more important than anything else. And it's obvious because that's what has made people enjoy the game so much. Did you just fart? What? No. Even if I did, you wouldn't even pick it up. Did you read Wind and Truth? That's what I call my farts. Wind and Truth. I did. I was actually talking to Evelyn about that today. I read it as soon as it came out. It came out when I was in LA last year. Why was I in LA that time? Was that for Thankmas? I feel like Evelyn would have been there. It came out when I was in LA and I was on the way back. Was it LA? Or was it New York? Anyway, I just remember reading it on the plane on the way back. I started it then. What did you think? I mean, that reaction alone says a lot, doesn't it? I really liked it. I would give it like a 7 out of 10, I'd say. I think some of the old man brain setting in. No, that's ADHD brain setting in. I thought some of the things that were happening in it were not as cool as I had built up in my brain. Like, the ending of it was really cool, but it also just sets up for another part of the story, basically, like, they will return kind of thing, so it's kind of hard to feel like you got closure. I didn't feel like I got closure from the end of it. And a lot of the book was kind of meandering, and I feel like it didn't need to be. I feel like it could have been a much more concise experience and it would have been better for it. But it's kind of hard hit the highs of Way of Kings and Words of Radiance anyway. Those two books are just all-timers for me. No spoilers? I don't think I spoiled anything, did I? You would love Red Rising, I think. I've seen so many people talk about Red Rising. I don't know if I would. I read a bunch of Warhammer books this year, and even them, now I kind of stopped reading. And there's even books in those that people are like I got to Know No Fear. And I really, really wanted to like it, but I didn't like the formatting of it, and then I started reading... Oh, what's the one I'm on now? Unremembered Empire. And I just I like the first like 4 or 5 Horus Heresy books where it feels like I'm getting the story of the galaxy, what the impact of what Horus is doing is having on the entire like plot of the Emperor and his liege. But when it came to some of the later books, it's like, well, this is about like this smaller faction and how they handled this part of the heresy. And it's still cool. It's just, I don't know, I didn't feel like I was moving the overall plot forward anymore. It felt like I kept going back to other parts and reliving some sections, and then I think I just got burnt out on them. Which I've heard a lot of people say about the Horus Heresy books. The last really good one I read was Legion, number 7. But I feel like I'm talking to the wall because I feel like all the people here don't read Warhammer. Should we try the Eisenhorn series? I have thought about that. I do want to try, I want to read Xenos. But I want to get through the 30k stuff first. I don't want to like jump ahead and then start reading a 40k thing. I know it doesn't really matter. I know you can kind of like jump back and forth all the time anyway, but I do really want to read Heresy stuff and move on to the Siege of Terra and kind of do it chronologically. And then when I get to Eisenhorn and stuff, I'll have a better picture of why we're here and what we're doing and how the Inquisition started and all that kind of stuff. Someone wants to get into Warhammer, where should I start? It depends on what part of Warhammer you want to get into. Do you want to play the game? Because I don't. I don't want to play the tabletop game. I don't think ever, really. It's just, I'm not into that side of it. But if you're into lore, I mean, I would say start with some of the books. I won't tell you which, because every time I tell people, start with the Heresy, people are like, no, don't start that. It's a terrible idea. What is the lore about? Everything. It's impossible to say. It's the 41st millennium and war is everywhere. Put it that way. But it's really good sci-fi. There's some really cool shit in it. Some of the stuff I kind of like roll my eyes at, but overall I think it's very cool. Unable to load nominees. Fuck me. Bro, we ain't never gonna be able to do this. This is a fucking bullshit. Have you read Dune? I have. I read Dune and I read... What's the... Oh, Jesus. The next one. Let me see. I read Dune. And then Dune Messiah. That's the next one, right? The one that they're doing for the movie? Yeah. I haven't read God Emperor of Dune or Children of Dune. It's really confusing because in the book of Dune, like the actual first Dune book, they have book 1, 2, and 3 within that book. But it doesn't mean there are 3 books. It should be just part 1, 2, and 3, or act 1, 2, and 3. But Dune Messiah, I think, is the second one. Crazy series? Yeah, I've heard that later aspects of Dune get really fucking weird. I'm fine stopping at Messiah. That's cool. The rest of them take place so far in the future that I don't really care, and I don't want to see someone fuck a worm or turn into one or whatever that weird shit that happens is. I've seen New Frankenstein. I watched it yesterday, actually. It was really good. I think my only gripe with it is I wish it wasn't filmed for Netflix. Because I'm pretty sure all the sets look incredible. The makeup is unreal. The costuming is absolutely nuts, but it's shot so cleanly. Like everything on Netflix has to have this like really clean digital look to it. And I wish it was shot on film with like a dirtier lens. Like dirty up the lens a bit. Let it feel like it feels like I can see the set too much. It feels like I can see where stuff was, like I can see the makeup and shit. Like everything's too clean. I want stuff to be dirtier and like film grain all over it and a little grittier looking. Because I think that blends scenes a lot better. Whenever like some post-processing effects are all over something, you kind of like hide the blemishes a bit more. So I want to see that. It never really felt like until near the end of the movie that Frankenstein actually looked like a man made out of multiple people. It kind of felt like a dude in makeup for a lot of it. Maybe that's just the way they did it. But he was phenomenal. Like all the actors were incredible in it. But you know what I mean? Like there's some scenes where it's like at night and you're just have candlelight and stuff, and I'm like, make that shit dark and moody and gritty and dirty and like, I don't know, like watching Nosferatu and then watching Frankenstein just from a sheer like camera's perspective. Nosferatu I think has the look I wish Frankenstein had. And maybe that's just cinematography and directors things, but I think it's also because it's made for Netflix that stuff has to be really clear because they know people are going to be on their phones all the time. But I'm just like, let a camera like do it. Like it's this thing with like new cameras all have incredible range. The HDR can go from like the fucking brightest brights down to the darkest darks, and they're like, how can we show as much detail as possible within one frame? I'm like, it's not about that. Go back and watch an old film that looks really, really good, that's shot in film, that doesn't have that HDR. It's moody. It creates a sense of something. It feels like you captured something on camera that's so, like, it just hits you, you know? There's a feeling to it. When stuff's shot so cleanly, it ruins all of that. Everything's just like, oh yeah, I can see the thing in the fucking background over there. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just a preference for how I like things done. But it's not even an authenticity thing. It's just, it looks nicer. And for something like Frankenstein, I'm like, I want to feel like I'm in that time. So the camera should reflect what that time felt like it was to remember. I'm not explaining that well. What are your thoughts on the Ed Gein show? I don't watch any of those type of shows. I don't like serial killer shows. Lighthouse is a good example. Exactly. Well, that's just Robert Eggers, baby. Fucking legend. I don't know, I always think of a specific scene, and a ton of people have done videos on it, from the movie Seven, which is about like, it's kind of like Saw based around like gluttony, greed, all that kind of stuff, the 7 deadly sins. And there's a guy like dead in his apartment, he's covered in wires and stuff, and when it comes in, he's like framed beautifully, and everything in the foreground is like pitch black and you can't see shit. But it's just like, it adds this like super ominous, like there's shit hiding in the shadows everywhere. And it's just so like moody and scary, and it just gives you a feeling. And then even David Fincher remastered the movie and all the shadows got brightened up and now you can see shit everywhere. And it's like, oh man, it doesn't look, you don't know what you had. Even David Fincher doesn't know how to make that movie anymore. It's crazy. I don't know, good camera work and good feeling and good mood and everything means a lot to me. Okay, can we vote yet? Oh, I got a verification thing. It gave me a verification thing to be like, making sure you're human, and then it went to the next page and it said, sorry, return home. Yeah, maybe I got my humanity revoked. Unable to load nominees, return home. I don't know what's going on. Surely they think about this, right? How many years have they been doing it, and how many people show up to vote every time? Any detail you can share about your next video on the channel? I don't have a single video for the channel right now. Mainly because if I record too long, my throat gets dead. So I'm trying to take care of my throat issue. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I talked about it earlier in the stream. I want to focus on that first. Plus I have post-dispatch depression. I don't know what to do. We do have some fun Spadicey stuff done though. We filmed a escape room recently. And this week we're hoping to film a trampoline park. That I think will be really fun. So if you're not subscribed to Spadicey, go subscribe. Any drum cover videos? Not at the moment. I'm way out of practice. I do have a drum kit ordered though, that should arrive next month. And I'm gonna put that in the office and make like a soundproof room for it, and then actually be able to play an acoustic kit again instead of just relying on the electric kit. Would you do another dispatch playthrough with different choices? Probably not. I'm very, very, very happy with what I did in the videos, so. Any new painted figurines? Yes! I just finished Raziel from Soul Reaver today. I put it up on my Instagram story. You can go see it. I'm very proud of it. It came out really cool. Next one I'm working on is Freya from Final Fantasy IX, but she's much smaller. The Soul Reaver one is like, I don't know, like 12 inches big. All 12 inches of Raziel. Has Evelyn played Dispatch? No, and that's another reason why I'm like, if I play it again, I'll probably play it with her in our spare time. And just have fun with it. Have you seen the kid who played Tool's entire discography in one take? I have. I was DMing him about it. He's incredible. His drumming is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of his. Any plans to have a blue sky? Nah. I don't even really want to use my Twitter anymore. I use it every now and then. But I don't really need another social media in my life. Music you listen to a playlist, it's so vibey. It's just a Demon Souls soundtrack. The green on the figure looks so fucking sick. Thank you. The swirly pool that I did. I don't know about the Soul Reaver sword that he's holding in that picture. I think it needs to be a little brighter. It's hard to do stuff that makes it look like it's glowing. I don't know how, I don't really know how to do that. Like there's light coming from within it. I still need some practice with it, but the swirly pool underneath him I was very happy with when I did it. Soul Reaver Remaster worth playing? Look, I love Soul Reaver. I absolutely adore that world and the writing and the voice acting, and the story is actually fucking sick. It's one of the best in gaming. But man, is that a hard game to play. I'd say if you have a high patience threshold, then go for it. I would love to just see more Soul Reaver stuff get made, but it's still a really clunky game to play. Are you speaking French? You sometimes say random French words in your videos. I say all sorts of fucking words. I'll say some Spanish words, I'll say some German words. I did learn French in school, so obviously some words are still stuck in my brain somewhere, but no, I'm not learning French. Do you know any Finnish? Ah, I knew some from Alan Wake 2 when Ati says some stuff, but I can't remember now. Oh, perkele. Yeah. Swedish, jävla fitta. I said that so often, and I actually don't know what it means. I just knew that it got a big reaction out of people who knew Swedish, so I said it. Hopefully I'm not saying slurs. It means fucking cunt. Ah. I'd say fucking cunt all the time in real life, so. Devil's female genitalia? Is that what it literally translates to? No. It was the same in Dutch. People say it like kutkop, which means like cunt face. But I think some people's reaction to those words is a lot stronger than like an Irishman's would be. No one says that. It doesn't matter if they say it or not, I just know that it means something. Or godverdomme. Alsjeblieft. Bedankt en tot ziens. Or, hey, poo-poo, now. Shunge, junge. There's a lot of Dutch shit I picked up off Evelyn. Jack is probably fluent in Irish. Absolutely not. I can barely even read it half the time now. Gezellig. How we doing, website? Might not even get to vote at all. Unable to load nominees, try again later. You fucking piece of shit. Any Danish? Not really. Like Hugo, I know. Your performance as the Gaelic nut puncher was heavenly. That's the actual Gaelic gladiator, the nutcracker. What's up, Mr. Paul? Is the game's website broken? Yeah, it's broken for everybody. Ain't nobody able to vote, bro. Can't have shit online. I just want to vote, bruh. We'll get there, chat. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry your pretty little pixels about it. One sec, chat. Do you think I'm pretty? Fuck no. Sorry, I don't. I'm not doing any of that shit with you, chat. Fuck you. I don't know what you look like, nor should I. Do you think you're pretty? Fuck no. It's not what we're here for. We're here to vote on video games. We're not here to talk about how cute we are. Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of here with that shit. This is for loser virgins only. If you're a sex haver, get out. Diabolical. It turns off stream. You don't have to be mean about it? Yeah, I do. Mean about everything. A W for virgins. It's all these virgins that are crashing the voting website. Let this virgin in. Come on. Fucking madness. Madness, I say. How does this make you feel, Sean? Is that rubbing a furry's ears? Stop it! I'll have none of it! I just want to vote on my video games! What is happening? I don't know! This is what happens when you start being mean to people. Favorite movie? Hot Fuzz. Finally, we're back. You think Jeff Keighley is pretty? I think his shoes are pretty. Second favorite movie? Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Third favorite movie? 2001: A Space Odyssey. And that's all. I kept thinking about the Letterboxd favorite 4, and I was like, what would be my 4th? I don't actually know. 2001 is so overrated, yawn. You uncultured swine. You absolute muck flinger. Oh, I was trying to think of like pigs like with their snouts in the ground like flicking up mud, but muck flicker sounds like a really, it sounds like a slur. It sounds like something I shouldn't be allowed to say. It's so harsh sounding. It's like sour milk drinker. Yeah, every time I say milk drinker as well, it's like, oh, does that mean something? Slug nudger? Oh, my light went out from that! See, that sounds awful! That sounds like something I shouldn't be allowed to say. I'm not doing any of them anymore. There's probably words in there that sound horrible. Even the light was offended. He flicked off. Hey Sean, how do you life? Bruh. No idea. I have so many amazing things at my fingertips, and I still don't know what to do. Automod stopped. Have you ever seen that? I can't hit my protein goals! They blocked that response as part of Automod. You can't meme in here, apparently. I still can't vote. Every time I click, it says unable. What triggered the thing from that? Oh, the word pussy was in it. Do you plan on doing more voice acting work? Absolutely. I would love to. I got a lot of good feedback and practice and experience with doing Punch Up. So I would like to be, like, there's a ton of things I did with that now I'm like, not even just for voicing in general, but the whole thing around it, that I'm like, okay, I'm on better footing now if I go into another job. So I'd love to do more of it. I take it very seriously. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, he didn't even change his voice, or he just got it because he's a YouTuber and whatever. It's like, it doesn't change the fact that I, like, worked really hard at it and, like, tried my best. If I was bad, I wouldn't be in it. Plus, I hate that idea that I've seen a bunch of clips and people are like, Charlie and Sean didn't even change their voices. That's not voice acting. I'm like, you don't... Voice acting isn't changing your voice. Voice acting is acting. There's a ton of, like, would you say Nolan North isn't a good voice actor, or Troy Baker, when they sound the same in multiple different games just because they're talking like them? Or Laura Bailey, who was in this, and a lot of people, like Matt Mercer showed up and I immediately spotted him because he sounds like Matt Mercer. It's like, that doesn't mean he's incredible in it. They're all incredible. You shouldn't have to change your voice just because you know what I sound like and now you can't suspend reality in your brain. Have you started doing audiobooks for people? No, I don't think I would be good at that. I wouldn't want to do that either. Plus, yeah, I didn't speak how I normally speak. This is how I normally speak. And this is how Punch Up would normally speak. Like, it's different. Do you know who we saw in the bar last night? Mecha Man. Like, that's not me. You just heard an Irish accent and went, that's the same. That's on you. Is this patch over now, or will there be more? I mean, in terms of the game now, it's done. I should do a video where I go over some of Punch Up's lines, because I I don't remember all of them, and I didn't hear all of them. So maybe there's some golden ones in there. I don't know. When I was younger, I liked like being into like The Simpsons or video games or something, and then those people showed up and did lines as the character in that voice. Like my face lit up whenever I watched those. So I'm like, I want to do that just for myself. Like, it's weird that I'm getting like vocal stims from Punch Up from the game whenever I watch people's reactions, and then I'm like, wait, I can do that perfectly because that's me. I've never had that before. Oh, they seem salty. You gotta drop and roll, lad. That was a fun one. That was one of the first lines I did. That was a hard scene to do because I had to match it to a scene that was already done. So the cutscene was already done, and they had like people from the studio, like animators or whatever, put the voice on so they could pace out the scene. So I had to listen to them do it and then match that speed. And I think I did a good job in that game. I think the first scene I'm in is the weakest voice work I did as the character. Because it's the first lines I did, and I had to match it to a cutscene that somebody else was speaking in my ears. So I had to... Some people are very good at this stuff, but I had never done it before. So I had to match what that person was saying and try and get the timing right. So I was worried about that. And it became more about matching like cadence and pitch and speed, more so than it became about like acting. And I was just, it didn't let you get like into the flow state in a way. So that like, shit, yeah, you're right. No, Coop, fucking guy needs a dentist. Like, those are the only lines where I'm like, can I take another swing at those? But then by the time I got back to like the next session, I really knew who the character was and I knew what I was doing. So it, like the rest of the lines then are all way more consistent. I also really like that Punch Up is the only one, if not one of the only people to actually call her Coupe outside of the introduction. He's like, what for, Coupe? We all know you'll just be at the roulette wheel. That was such a funny line. That's a fucking croupier, you idiot. The fuck's a croupier?